Hi everyone, Ravi this side. Welcome to EnggAdda. Today in this video, we are going to discuss about CORS. What is CORS? Why we are using it out, and how we can configure CORS in our Spring Boot application. So this is what we are going to discuss in this video. So what is CORS first? So CORS stands for Cross Origin Resource Sharing. Okay. So this is what CORS means. When we are going to share the resource across different origins, that is what CORS means. Now let me try to go to the next slide to discuss about CORS in more detail, what it is and why we are using it out and how we can use it out. We'll try to see through the practical implementation. So let me try to go to the next slide to discuss about CORS. So CORS stands for Cross Origin Resource Sharing. This is like security feature implemented by the browsers, and it allows web application running at one origin to request resource from another origin. So let's say you have two applications. One is the front-end application and another is a back-end application. Your front-end application is locally running on the port number, let's say 3000. And your back-end application is running on the port number, let's say 8080. And your front-end application is using the back-end APIs which are running on the port number 8080. So how the front-end can integrate out your back-end APIs without facing this cross-origin errors, that is what we are going to see here. And here when the front-end is trying to consume the back-end APIs which are coming from the different origin, this is what the resource sharing between two different origins, or you can say cross-origin, is. Okay, so that is what we are going to discuss here, and this is about the CORS. It stands for the cross-origin resource sharing, and it is a security feature implemented by the browsers. It allows web application running at one origin, like front-end is running on the port number 3000 and the backend is running on the port number 8080. So it allows the web application running at one origin to request a resource from another origin. So this is what CORS is. Now why we are using CORS? Why it is important? It prevents unauthorized access to the resource. So let's say the front end wanted to consume the backend APIs. So in that case, the backend should allow front end to consume those APIs, right? So the backend should allow this origin to have the access of the backend APIs. That is what it. You have to give the authority to those origins that they can access the backend APIs. They can access the backend resources. So that what the CORS authority means, like it prevents unauthorized access to the resource. Once the backend will give the authority to the front end origin, then only they can use the backend APIs. Okay. It also enhances security by restricting resource sharing between different domains. So this is why we should use CORS. It prevents unauthorized access and it enhances security. Now let me try to go to the next slide to discuss how we can use CORS, or how we can configure our backend application in such a way that we are not getting the cross-origin errors. Okay. So that is what we are going to see here. So what I am going to show you here is, I already have one front-end application and one back-end application running. Like I already have developed those things. So if you are not aware how to develop a full stack application, then there is a video on my channel. You can go to this playlist and you can find it out. So if you search for the full stack web app from my channel, then you will find out this whole playlist. Here I have discussed about the full stack web development, where we are trying to develop a full stack application that will manage the product. Okay, so we use the React as a front end application, and we use the backend as a Spring Boot, and the database that we are using is MySQL. So the whole thing, you can come here and try to have a look, and then you can develop your full stack application from scratch. Okay, so you can have those look. And now what I'm going to show is, I'm going to make this front end and back end application up and running on my local machine. So I already have my front end on Visual Studio Code, and the back end is there in the IntelliJ. So before going to write the code, like make them up, let me try to tell you from where you can find it out. So if you directly want to have this application on your machine, then what you can do is you can go to this Git. Let me try to open the edge and then show you. So you can go to my Git. How you can go is there. If you'll go to this channel, and here you can see you will find this GitHub page. You can directly go there, and if you'll go to the repositories, here if you'll search for the product, you'll find this front-end application and this is the back-end application. So directly you can clone it out and make this up and running on your local machine, and then after that you can follow this video. So I already have my back-end application on IntelliJ, so let me try to make it up and running, and also let me try to make this front-end application also up and running. So we open the terminal. Now let me try to run this command called npm start. So for the first time, let's say you clone this application, then what you have to do is you have to run the npm install so that it can install the node modules for you, and then you can run the npm start. So just let me try to start this application, and it will be up on the port number 3000 locally. So let it up. Until then, let me try to show you how this backend is not up. Let me try to change this to this, and then let me try to run this backend application. It will also be up a few seconds, so just give it a few seconds. Here you can see our front end is up and our backend is not up. That is why we are not getting any data here. So let me try to see. Now our backend is also up, and if you refresh the page, you will find those data there. You can see that, right? So we have the list of product here, like product 1 is magazine. We have product 1 price is 1000 and the quantity is 0, which you can update. So these things are there. It is working fine. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up in the Chrome browser. So here we are not getting any CORS error because I already have installed this plugin in my browser, which is Edge, and that is why I'm not facing this error here. So let me try to go to the Chrome and try to open this out. And then here you can see we are not getting any result, right? So if you'll go to this option, and if you'll go to the more tools and go to the developer tool, and if you'll see here inside this console, you'll find that we are getting this CORS policy, no access control allow origin. This is the error that we are getting, right? We are not able to access the backend APIs because the CORS is not allowed there at the backend. So how we can allow the CORS? So there is a simple way from the backend how we can allow it out. So here you can see, if you'll go to your controller and if you'll directly use this annotation, which is @cross origin, then it will work fine for you. So let me try to run this application again and then try to refresh the page at the Chrome. Okay, so just wait for a few seconds. And yeah, our application is up. Now go to this browser and refresh it out. So this time you can see you are getting the result and you are not getting this error. That means we allowed the cross origin from our backend. Okay. Now if you want to provide the cross origin details, like the URLs on which you want to apply the cross origin, then you can provide it out. So we want to enable the cross origin for this front-end front-end application, which is running on the port number 3000 locally. So you can directly copy it out, and then here you can provide those values. Like you can provide like value equal to something like this. Okay, and this will also work fine. So let me try to run this out. And again, if you'll go to this browser and then refresh it out, you can see you're not getting the errors. So everything is coming fine. So this is the way, like, you can enable the cross origin from your backend, and then you can also provide the origin that you want to enable from the backend, and you can also put that in the value. So this is one of the way. So let's say in your application, you have so many controllers, like you have not one of controllers. There are, let's say, 20-25 controllers are there. So how you can, like, this is not the way to go to the each controller and try to enable the cross origin at that controller level. So there should be a centralized way to handle all these things, right? So there comes the picture of configuration. So how you can do a centralized configuration in such a way that your cross origin is at one place, and then it will apply across all the controllers in your application. So how you can do that? So that is what we are going to discuss here. So what I will do, I will try to have couple of configuration setups in our application properties file, and then from there I will try to load those values inside a config class, and then we'll try to have our configuration ready. So how we can do that, let me try to show you. So before going to create the configuration class, let me try to put this properties inside the application.properties file. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this 4 properties related to the course, like allowed origin, allowed methods, allowed headers, and allowed credential. So these are the 4 key that we are going to put here as a configuration, so you can use them. So let me try to have this. These are the custom configuration. Okay, these are not the configuration that are provided by the Spring Boot. So this is the custom configuration that we are doing. So let's say course allowed dot origins. So in the origins, we will try to provide the list of the origin that we want to allow. Okay, so just cross origin equal to, let's say it is not origin, it's origin. So here you can put your origin, okay, that you want to allow. So for my case, let's say I'm going to put this localhost 3000, and then if you want to put some other, then you can put it like localhost example.com, something like that. So you can put as many as origins you want to allow. Similarly, for this methods, which methods you want to allow, so you can have the list of methods here. Let's say it is get, post, put, delete. These 4 methods you want to allow. Now these 2 are like, this can be allowed, but you can, according to your requirement, you can have these things ready. So I'm just going to use them like course dot allowed dot headers. So what kind of headers you want to allow? As of now, I am just putting asterisk so that it can allow all type of headers. So whatever things is required for you, you can choose according to your requirement. We are going to do the things here as general. Okay. Now let's say allow dot credential equal to, let's say, true. Okay. So this 4 configuration we are doing in the application.properties file. Now let me try to tell you again that these are the custom configuration that we put here. This is not provided by the Spring Boot. Now what we are going to do is we are going to create a config class. Okay, so for that, let me try to create the pack. First, let me try to create the package. Let's say config dot, let's say, course config class. Okay, now what we'll do, we'll try to keep all those values inside the variables inside the class. So whatever configuration we did here at the application.properties file, we'll try to fetch out each of the values with the help of @value annotation inside this configuration class. So before going to do that, let me try to annotate this class with @configuration so that its object will be created and assigned to the Spring application context. Okay. Now let me try to use this value annotation. Okay, and here what we have to do is we have to provide the key, which is, let's say, let me try to go to this application properties file, copy one of the key, and then we can use it out. Go to the course config. Okay. And it is like it has a list of values. So for that, what we are going to do is let's say private string origins, and it would be string array. Similarly, we have the allowed methods, and then other things are also there, like, so we have the methods, which would be, let's say, methods, and then what we have is let's say header we have, and it is of string type, and then we have credential, which is of Boolean type. Okay, so we have all these values here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a bean of web MVC configurer, and there inside that we'll try to use the method called add course mapping, and inside those method we will try to register our course, and then we'll try to allow this origins, methods, headers, and the credentials. So that is what we are going to do here. So let me try to create a method called public web MVC configurer. Okay, and let's say it is course configurer, or you can say course config. And we have to create the bean out of it. So just annotate this with @bean, and now return new web MVC configurer, and then inside that we have to override one method of web MVC configurer, which is add course mapping. Okay, so just search for that, add course mapping. This is the one we are going to override, and inside that we are passing this course registry. Okay, and what we are going to do is, with the help of this registry, we are going to add the mapping. So we are going to add the mapping for this, let's say, centralized things. Like, we are going to add the mapping for all of the controllers that we have in this application. So that is why we are putting it *** forward slash *** it would be. Okay, now what we have to put here is we have to add this allowed origins, and inside that we have to provide the variable which is origins here. So just pass the origins, and then we have to call the allowed methods, and then pass the method there, and then we have to call the headers, and then pass the headers, and then we have credential, pass the credential here. Okay, and then we are good. Now just okay, so this is what we are doing. Okay, so we are good now. Now let me try to do one thing. So let me try to summarize you what we did. We created this 4 custom configuration where we are providing the origins, methods, header, and credentials, and those things we are fetching up in this configuration class with these variables like origin, methods, headers, and the credentials. And then we are creating the bean of web MVC configurer. inside that we are implementing the add course mapping method of the WebMVC configurer, and then we are passing this origin methods, headers and the credential inside that, and then we are simply returning it out. Okay, so this is what we are doing. Now the configuration is done. Now let me try to go to the controller here and try to comment out this cross origin, and then run this application again, and then see if it is giving the errors or it is working fine. If it is working fine, that means our configuration is working fine. So you can see our application is up on the port number 9000. Now go to the browser again and try to refresh it out. So here you can see we are getting some different kind of error, which is 403, and again the cross origin is also coming up. So this is like we are not able to do the necessary configuration here. So let me try to see what errors we are getting. So again, let me try to refresh it out. Yeah, still we are getting the errors, and the CORS error is also there. So what we can do is go to the configuration, and we are doing the configuration, and then we are having the values, and then we are creating the bean of cross WebMVC configurer. Okay, now we are doing a return new WebMVC configurer, and then inside that we are overriding this add course mapping, and then inside that we have the course registry. With the help of registry, we are adding the mappings, and then we are adding the allowed origins. We are doing the we are adding the allowed methods, headers and the credentials, and then let me try to comment out this piece of code and then see. Okay, let me try to rerun this, and then okay, so we are looking good. Configuration is done. We are creating the bean, and what else? Nothing is required as of now. So our application is up on the port number 9000. Again, go to the browser, refresh it out. Still we are not getting the details, right? So still we are getting the course error. So it is giving 403, which is forbidden. No problem, I will see. This is also looking good, and coming to the configuration is also looking good. We have the bean, and everything look good. If we'll go to this application.properties file again, and then here you can see we are doing one mistake. We should keep the comma here, not dot. So this might be causing the issue. Now let me try to run this again, and then see. So our application is up on the port number 9000. Now go to the browser again and refresh it out, and here you can see we are able to get the table details, like details of the product. And you can see in the network tab, the APIs are also working fine. They are giving the 200. Earlier they were giving 403, but now it is 200. If you go to the console, you'll find that the error is not coming up here. So this is how you can do the necessary configuration, or you can say necessary course configuration, cross origin, resource sharing configuration in your Spring Boot backend application. So this is about the video, guys. If you like the video, please hit the like button and please subscribe the channel for more such content. Thanks.